began quietly, as if the world had decided to press a reset button in the middle of the night. People woke with a start, their eyes blinking at familiar surroundings that now seemed alien. The beds they slept in, the streets they walked, even the faces of family and friends and all strangers. Names, memories, identities, erased as if written in sand and swept away by the tide. The first morning was surreal. Children stared at their own hands, wondering if they belonged to them. Adults poured coffee into cups they no longer recognized. Keys clutched like foreign objects. The air was thick with confusion. The sound of humanity's collective uncertainty filled streets once silent at dawn. No one remembered jobs, responsibilities, or the simplest routines. A mother could not recall the face of her child. A teacher forgot the lessons she had spent years preparing. Governments collapsed within hours. Leaders, stripped of memory, wandered aimlessly. Hospitals were chaos. Patients and doctors alike unsure of their own skills. Traffic jammed instantly as drivers hesitated, unsure of destination or purpose. Chaos was not violent at first. It was mechanical, a society unmoored from its own identity. People sought explanations. Scientists struggled to recall even their own names, let alone hypotheses. Psychologists were at a loss, unable to comfort those around them. Attempts at organization failed because the very concept of organization had vanished along with personal history. Each person was a blank page, adrift in a world that seemed both familiar and alien. Yet, the world persisted. Streets filled with wandering figures, some cooperating instinctively, others struggling to act. Memoryless humans began rebuilding, slowly, experimentally, a society without recollection of its former self. New customs emerged, habits born of observation rather than tradition. Children learned from peers, not parents, and families became clusters of strangers brought together by chance rather than blood. The cityscape itself seemed transformed. Familiar landmarks appeared different, colored by fresh eyes. Monuments that once inspired pride now impressed only by size and shape. Libraries stood silent, their books meaningless to those who could no longer comprehend context or language. As days passed, some fragments returned, like faint echoes of lost songs. A scent triggered a flash of emotion. A familiar phrase evoked a half-memory of laughter. Slowly, fragments of who people once were surfaced, but they were incomplete, distorted. No one regained the full identity they had possessed. Humanity was now a mosaic of fragments, each person partially familiar, partially new. With memory gone, the world became quieter in thought, yet louder in action. Decisions were guided by instinct rather than experience. Conflicts were rare, grudges impossible. Yet innovation slowed, creativity fractured without the scaffolding of accumulated knowledge. Civilization continued, but in a strange, fragile form. Humanity reinventing itself each day, endlessly. In the end, the planet survived, but the humans who walked it were reborn strangers in their own lives. Every handshake, every glance, every voice held the quiet tension of recognition lost. The past existed only as echoes, whispers, and the distant hum of a world once whole. And yet, in the endless blankness, there was possibility. Each day was a fresh beginning, every individual an unmarked slate. The world had forgotten itself, but in forgetting it could start again, infinitely, unpredictably, and unbound.